Hello and welcome back to Thunder Car Garage. On this episode, we're going to be working on this 1973 Cougar XR7 with the 351 Cleveland. On this episode, we're going to be working on the fuel tank and also on electrical issues that I encountered. Please like and subscribe. Have a nice day. We are back on the 73 Mercury Cougar, and I had ordered a gas tank previously because the old one was full of rust and it was pretty bad. I tried to clean it, but the more I cleaned it, the more rust I got out of it, and it was terrible. So I ordered a new gas tank, and to my surprise, this is what I got, which is a whole lot better than what I thought it would be. Uh, I got it from the internet. Anyways, very inexpensive. I think I paid about $130, $40 or something like that. But look how nice it looks. I mean, it even looks like it's painted. The original one, or the one that came out, it was not even coated. So it was rusted inside and out terribly. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble this and get it ready to install it on the car. So maybe we can have a running fuel system that we can run the car finally. So here we go. I put these plastic bags in the holes here to keep the insects from getting in. It seems like all the insects are out to make nests everywhere they can. So I'm going to remove this here. And we're going to start by putting the vent. It's like a vent that goes on top here. I already had cleaned it out. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to put a new gasket and put it in there. I'm going to use a little bit of lubricant, WD-40, to kind of help the gasket move around a little bit so it'll seal properly. So there we go. Got a new gasket. Gonna put it right there in the groove. And this is the front, or should I say the back of the gas tank. And this vent's gonna be pointing towards the back. So we're going like that. And here we go. Got the retainer. We are going to get it on there nice and snug. I'm gonna use whatever works for a like a hammer to tap it, turn it around so that it can seal. So here we go. It doesn't take a lot of force, just a little bit until it locks in place. And there it is. So that one's together. And this is the hose that came with it. It's a real good shape, still nice and pliable. So we're gonna reuse the hose. It's just a vent. I put it in there like that. That's how it goes. Put the clamp on there. There we go. This is where the filler neck goes, which is takes a gasket. It looks like this. So I think the way all this gotta work is I'm gonna install the gas tank, and I'm gonna install this seal here, and then when the gas tank's in there, the neck goes in afterwards. So let me see if I can get this in here real quick. A little WD-40 on there, lubricant. Could be a little tough going in because it's got to form to the shape where it needs to go in. Gotta fight with it a little bit, maybe persuade it with the screwdriver, make sure not to cut it. I'm just kind of bending it in place. And there we go. It's able to seal, and that's how it fits. Now the neck goes in here. And the other thing we need to install is this fuel sending unit, which goes in this hole right here. So I'm going to flip it around. And this is where it's going to go. So I have a new gasket. Got a new retainer. I cleaned up the sending unit. I wanted to order a new one. They were pretty expensive because this is an XR7. It's got a low pressure, low fuel sensor, which is this right here. So therefore it's got 3 prongs. But I was able to clean it up, and I tested it and cleaned everything, cleaned the contacts and everything, even replaced the filter, checked everything out, even checked the float, and I tested it with my own meter, and it's working fine. So I don't see why should I replace it if it's working, especially if it's about $150. So anyways, we're going to put it in, and it's going to go like so, because this is the bottom, so it's got to be pointing towards the bottom, even though I have it flipped upside down. So a little more of that. Originally, he had a different kind of filter here, and I saw in one of the other videos from the guys that deal with those cars, it's a pretty good hack. I used a filter out of a carburetor car, and I was able to enlarge the opening and fit it right in just perfect. So instead of waiting for another filter, sock filter, this works just fine. So I'm going to use that. Plus, on top of that, it's going to have an additional filter on the outside. So, got to line up the tabs, and just like so. Got a new retainer, it came with it, so I'm going to put it on. I like to put a little WD-40, it'll make it kind of slide easier. And I'm going to tap it in place like I did the other one. So, little tap, make it go around. Little tap there. There we are. I purchased this filter from the local parts house, and I'm going to put it here. Normally, the car doesn't have a filter here. It does have a filter on the carburetor, but I'm going to make sure to put extra filters just in case. So this could be serviceable anytime. So I'm going to put it right here, either here or right before the fuel pump. So we'll see how this is going to work out. So then now that that's assembled, I'm going to flip it over. And look how nice this tank is. I'm really impressed with the way it looks like. You know, this is an aftermarket gas tank made specially for the Cougar. I also found out that I thought that the 71 or 73 Mustang will fit 71 to 73 Cougar, but that is not the case. The Cougar is differently, I found out, because the angle of the filler neck, it comes in a different angle, so it's got to be for a 71 or 73 Cougar, and that's what we got here. So that's the way it looks right before we put it in. So now I have to get the car ready to lift it back up in the air and set up the camera a different way so you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. I have set up this cart with some big 4x4s and maybe an 8x8 piece of wood here to kind of help me get it under there and kind of help me kind of lift it up in a way, hold it while I go ahead and position it in place and bolt it up with the straps. So let's see how this is going to go. Here we go. Now that that's out of the way, we're going to continue tightening up the bolts here. And then all we got to do is hook up our filter here and hook up our line, and then we'll be ready to go. I like to use the ratchet here because you can get a feel of how tight you want these straps to be. If you use power tools, sometimes you can just squish the tank or you get them too tight. But these don't have to go, they don't have to be that tight. They just gotta hold. Let me get a deeper socket so it'll come in, so it'll tighten up just a little bit more. I think that's pretty good. It's pretty tight. The straps are all the way up. Any more than that is gonna just collapse the tank. I like to give it about the same length on the bolts here. That way you know they're about the same height and the same tension on these straps. I'm okay with that. That looks nice. It's under there. Look at that nice tank under there compared to the rest of the car, but we need it to get a good fuel system. Believe me, if you don't have a clean tank, and if you think you got it clean after it's been rusted for 40, 50 years, I've been stranded so many times thinking that my gas tank is clean after I clean it, and it just continues to drop rust, continues to flake off stuff, so it's not worth the effort, nor, getting it redone and get it coated. By the time you do that, and it takes a lot of time and effort, you can just buy a replacement gas tank and be done with it. And you don't have to worry about getting stranded when your fuel system gets all clogged up, especially if you already got a new fuel pump, carburetor rebuilt, or a new carburetor. Your fuel system needs to be in tip-top shape. So that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and reposition the camera so you can see what I'm doing on this side. I'm gonna hook up the additional fuel filter here just to kind of help it. And I'm gonna blow out this line here. I'm gonna blow out the lines to make sure we get all the crud out of there, and we're gonna continue to go forward. Okay, I'm gonna go to the front of the car and I'm gonna blow out this line here and to see what comes out of it. Shouldn't get too much stuff, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cover this just in case we get a lot of stuff in here. I don't want it to go into the new tank. So we should see something coming out of that. Hopefully nothing, but if anything, probably a little bit of dust or something. Here we go. I'm gonna blow out from the front. I think I saw and I can smell and look at the stuff that came out of it. So I'm sure glad that I was able to blow it back. There was a lot of that stuff in there. So we may still need to flush it some more. But look at all that junk that came out of it. I'm sure glad I covered it up. It's all that rusty gas, and it smells, if you were to smell it, it smells like Varsol. It smells like something other than gasoline. But I'm pretty happy with that. I was able to get all that out. So what I'm gonna do is The plan is to give it extra filtering protection, and I want to go ahead and install this filter here. I like this one, this metal canister. I trust it better than the plastic one. And I'm going to put a little hose here with some clamps, a little hose here. And this is serviceable. You know, you can service it, and this is going to be better. We're still going to have a filter up front where the carburetor is. So this is just going to give us a little extra filtering. So there's an in and out, or maybe not. I don't think this one has a, yeah, sure does. It says in right here. So in and out. Okay, let me get my hose and let's put this, let's get this in here. And it's just gonna be, you know, free, I guess, kind of floating here. The hoses are gonna hold it in place. I'm ready with the fuel filter. I got the clamps on here. We're going to stick it in this way first. And now we need to scoot this one over. No problem, huh? It's only work. There you are, nice and tight and secured. The filter doesn't even move, so it could be easily accessed, and you can replace this filter as needed, and it's given that extra protection for rust or debris or whatever happens with the fuel system. The last thing we need to do is hook up this the fuel sending unit wiring, which is just one plug, which is this right here. There we go. Everything fits just right. I'm really happy with this gas tank. I was really surprised how good quality that looks and how it's painted. So I'm really happy with that. So that takes care of that gas tank. What it looks like under here. There's the gas tank, side of it. The plan is to replace those shocks as well, you know, but first we need to get this vehicle running, and there's the final look on that gas filter. As you can see from this angle, maybe a little bit better. You have to excuse me, guys, for this video footage. Not very good at filming. I'm better at fixing cars, and believe me, it takes me 3 or 4 times longer to do something while I'm filming than it is just to do it right. So it could be frustrating sometimes. All right, there I handle this fuel gas tank from underneath. What I need to do, I need to go up here to the back and put in the filler neck. So that's what we got to do next. Hello everyone. I would like to show you the wiring damage on this car caused by rodents, while it sat for many years before I purchased it. The work took several days to complete, and as you can see, the whole interior had to be removed, including the dash. In the end, it all worked out okay. It also gave me the chance to deep clean the interior. So here we go. Well, after finding out that I still had a lot of wiring issues because those rodents have gotten into the wiring, I quickly find myself in this kind of a mess. Not so much of a mess. I mean, I can do the work and everything. It's just that, it's a lot of extra work that I did not anticipate. And repaired a lot of wiring underneath the dash that was damaged by those rodents. And then I found that I needed to remove the carpet to clean it up, also to look for further damages, and I found this. And this was the last of the damages on the wiring. I found that right there, which is part of the passenger side seatbelt warning sign, warning system. So I need to fix that. So I found myself doing all this and everything, and might as well just get everything out, get everything cleaned up. Also, I found out that the shifter bushings are loose. I have to redo that. Replace some balls and some vacuum lines back here. So it just one thing turned into another, and all of a sudden I'm hours and maybe even days into getting all this put back together and get everything cleaned up. I did notice that at one time it used to have the factory build sheet right here. Also, I see one corner of what used to be a factory build sheet, which of course is no longer there. So maybe at one time or another someone had this carpet off and they took it off. Even though it looks like underneath, the car is in real good shape. Floorboards are real nice, and it's got the original insulation on the floorboard. And this side doesn't look that hot, but it looks like maybe it got a little bit of a water or something on this side right here. So we're about to pull this off and see. It looks like it's got some surface rust on it. I'm gonna clean all that up and properly treat it with some rust paint to make it look good and make it last longer. But this is what I got so far. So able to remove the seats and everything else. And this is the part of that harness that was chewed up by the rats that goes with this strip right here for the seatbelt warning system. So they chewed up that end right there. Other than that, the seats look intact. They look pretty good. I did find out that the driver's seat is a power seat. It's like a 4-way power seat, which that was pretty good. The passenger side is a manual seat, but I'm pretty happy with that. This the seats came out of it. Got the original tag right there. And this is the carpet that came out of it. Maybe it looks like at one time it was replaced or not. I'm not sure. It's got some kind of a number there. Some number here. I don't know. Since the original build sheet is missing and somebody pulled it out, it leads me to believe that someone had maybe removed this carpet or maybe even replaced it. It's part of the insulation from the back seat and all the other stuff that came out. I was pretty pleasantly surprised that it had all the factory I guess panels and stuff, even this cardboard panel that goes here, kind of like that. I guess I removed it, but it kind of protects the seal plate, it protects the carpet and everything. So I was pretty pleasantly surprised about that it had that in place. Had the original, this tape here, I think it's original. I don't know, you guys let me know. For the factory, it looks like some type of a heavy duty black duct tape. of course, the rats, it chewed up a bunch of wire that goes into the speaker, into this door, and that's why I have these door panels off. Same thing on the other side. And of course, I got all this mess right here, as you can see, but I'm gonna put it back together. I'm gonna make sure everything works properly. Replace some vacuum hoses under there for the air conditioning. But this is what I got so far. You know, I started doing one thing. I haven't even started the engine. That's, you know, how I got sidetracked. But I started fixing wiring issues. And I ended up getting sidetracked and getting all this done. Plus, I didn't want this car to catch on fire. And the other reason why I started to do the wiring too is because when I was testing about the wiring that was messed up by the rats, when I put the key on and put the battery in, I noticed that it was smoking underneath my steering column. So it turned out that my turn signal switch was shorted out through the horn, and that's probably the reason why the horns were disconnected. So that started smoking. So I kind of decided, you know what, let's look into this further before we will start the engine, so we can get this sorted out before it becomes an issue or this car catches on fire, you know, going down the road, or shortly after we'll get it started. So that's where I'm at. I spend days doing this. So I'll get back to you to put all this back together. And, you know, like I said, I got sidetracked and try to get all this put back together the way it was, or it is here's that harness that got chewed up by the rodents that goes underneath the seat, passenger side, into the bottom of the seat sensor for the seatbelt warning system. Goes right there, as you can see. They took care of that pretty good. And that was one of the things that I couldn't find. I did find this under the glove box, so I knew there was an issue, but I couldn't find the connector that it went to it. So out of desperation, I already had the dash off and everything, I thought, you know what, let me take the seats out. And I got to take the seats out anyway to kind of clean this carpet and look at other issues. And I found that. So that's the last of the wiring that I need to sort out and fix. But I think I got enough there so where I can do a professional, almost OEM repair on that and get that sorted out. So let you guys update it on what's going on with it. So this is what I got so far. Later.
Sunset fading, leaves are changing. Summer's gone, but we're still